Welcome to the Victors Nation podcast, reminding you constantly that we are national champions. With me, Derek, Dre. What's up, boys? How's it going?
It's getting pretty excited for the draft coming up here. Excited for the draft, excited for spring football,
very excited.
big spring game. Excited that we're officially going to be able to put a basketball team on the court next year again.
Dude, it's a good segue because he's cooking right now. May's cooking. Real quick, we had a setback with Facebook, so thanks, Facebook. We can't go live on there anymore, but hopefully we'll find some other platforms that we can do that with to spread the wealth. But speaking of basketball, so Dusty May is cooking right now, guys. So the last 3 days, work has been done. We got recruit guard Justin Pippen. So Scottie Pippen's son, 4-star. We got guard Ruben Jones from North Texas. We got Rody Gale from Suckeye Country. So he made a mistake. He's seen the light, people, so let's embrace him. He's a Wolverine now. Love it. Trey Donaldson from Auburn, number 3. Danny Wolf from Yale. Sam Walters from Bama. And then we'll see, I guess, what happens with those 3 FAU transfers. I really want to get Vlad. Really want to get another big guy. But, man, 3 days, he is on fire right now. We're looking in real good shape for this coming basketball season. Real quick, I don't know if you guys have anything to mention on hockey, or for basketball, that's all I got before I quickly talk about hockey here.
You know, it's just when it comes to basketball, it came together pretty quick, right? Like, we were looking at a pretty depleted roster, and I think that it's important to be excited about it, but also remember that what we're doing right now is building a team for next year. And a lot of the recruits that he's bringing in right now have a couple of years of eligibility left. So a lot of the transfers will be able to come in and have a couple of years to play. I do think we probably will see a couple more and maybe some of those senior grad transfers like Vlad come in and be able to step in and have a good leadership role right away. But in basketball, it's easier to go from having a bad season to retooling in the transfer portal and having a really good season. Because unlike football, in basketball, there's only 5 guys on the court and they play offense and defense. Where in football, you've got 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, 11 guys on special teams units that are going out there. So it's one person has a lot smaller of an impact in football, but in basketball, one or two people, if they're the right people, can have a huge impact on the performance of a team. I just think that it's important for us to be excited and be ready to go and support the program. But remember that we retooled this team. We haven't rebuilt this program yet. So as excited as we might be right now, be ready for there to still be some rebuilding that has to take place, and that the transfer portal is part of that, but that's going to come from putting together some good recruiting classes.
Yeah, I'm glad you used the word build. It's not like he's completely restarting these programs. He's got a mesh of players, and especially players that have tournament experience as well, too. So a couple of mistakes, obviously. So you got two players from Yale and Auburn who competed against each other in the first round, but I think it's going to be a good mesh with competition. So I think – and he's shown the ability to recruit already off the bat, getting Pippen's son. So I'm excited, man. We'll see what he can do. We just need him to bring that defensive mentality back, that defensive culture back to Michigan, and just college basketball in general. It's how it should be.
Right.
So I'm excited about it.
And re-recruiting his own players too, right? So getting George Washington to pull his name out of the transfer portal, getting Will Shetter to stay on the team. I think keeping Will Shetter is huge. I think that he's
that's big.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Well, I saw Reed. He's going to UConn.
He been doing a good job, man. He hit the ground running. I could tell you that. He hit the ground running, and he has been doing an excellent job. And I don't think he's done, to be honest. It started with his coaching staff. Now he is translated over to the recruiting class. And man, I just can't wait to see when it's all on the court to see how much of a success he's going to have moving forward. Because I think that was one of the home run hire. At first I did not see it.
Yep.
At first I didn't, so I had to go do some research on him, and I'm excited. I'm excited. I have not been excited for Michigan basketball since the hiring of Juwan Howard. So, let's see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? He can't do no worse than what Juwan was doing. No disrespect, but he can't do no worse than
that's
that.
That's the thing too. Like you mentioned the coaches drag. I know we said high level right here, but you mentioned the coaches too. Like every single one of those new assistant coaches are known for being an elite recruiter. So I think we're pretty well solidified in the future. So we'll see what happens, obviously, but that's just 3 days of work regarding the players with commitments and in the transfer portal. So this is still really, really, really early yet as well too. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So just going real quick into hockey, we lost our third straight Frozen Four. I know I told everyone to keep their tinfoil hats on and it didn't work. Stars were aligning with the eeriness of like the football program with the hockey program and like the dates and the years with championships and what we've done with those two programs the last 2 years. And it didn't happen. But one good news, we are fourth in the recruiting class. We had a really young team that I didn't even think we were even going to get in the tournament or let alone the Frozen Four a third straight year with all the NHL talent that we lost the last couple of years. But we're young. Like, I would not be surprised if we saw our fourth straight Frozen Four. It just can't rely on scoring. It's the defense that really has been the Achilles heel. Boston College came out to a quick goal, 2-on-1. And honestly, there were some crap goals by them after that. Goals are goals. It is what it is. But we lost. But what hurts, I believe since winning the national championships of the Frozen Four in 1998, we are 1-9 in Frozen Fours. That's a record in Frozen Fours. It's not great. But on the upside, it's a young team. We got another good recruiting class coming in. I wouldn't be surprised if we had our fourth straight Frozen Four. And I mean, let alone, these guys probably shouldn't have made it to the Frozen Four. Last point here. With all that NHL talent we had the 2 seasons prior to that, how the hell did we not win a first round Frozen Four game? How?
Right.
That should have happened. This team is still building yet. So there's still good things to come yet. I think we just have to be a little bit more patient, but I can definitely see us making a fourth straight Frozen Four. It's just we got to get past that hump and we got to improve the defense. So that's pretty much the last point. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then Boston College did go on to lose to Denver in the national championship. So I think the previous years, at least the team we lost to, I think both times ended up winning the national championship.
They did win the national championship after that. So at least that kind of trended off a little bit. Still not great, but at least that kind of fell through. But we'll see. Excited for both programs. So
yeah, definitely. But the program that I'm the most excited about is football. So, carrying on the momentum of winning a national championship, we came into the spring. Looking at massive turnover on the offensive side of the ball with guys headed to the NFL, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. A lot of returners coming to what I thought was the best defense that I've seen. I don't know that I can remember seeing a better defense in college football. I know that somebody might be able to pull up some sort of analytics or stats that says otherwise, but overall, that was a fun defense to watch this past year, and we're returning a lot of guys from that defense. So, new coaching staff though. A lot of new faces on the coaching staff. Some good key returning faces on the coaching staff, but now it's Sherrone Moore's show. So, in typical Michigan fashion, it was hard to really pick up what the buzz was going on through spring ball. Right, the biggest buzz that we heard was the Rod Moore injury. Right, other than the bombshell of Rod Moore being injured. It was a lot of a lot of players are doing good. A lot of the same names that we expected were doing good. Young guys were starting to shine. The defense was typically a step ahead of the offense, which you can expect with that much turnover on the offensive side of the ball and that much returning talent coming on the defensive side of the ball. But spring game gave us a little bit of a look at least. And I don't know who out there watched the Ohio State spring game. I watched part of it until I realized that they're playing two-hand touch, and then I went on to other things because they weren't tackling when their starters were in. But this was an actual football game where only the quarterback's going to get tackled, and even Alex Orji took one shot during the game. But
you don't see that a lot in college football either.
Right.
It's Michigan, so
it was a physical game. So let's spend some time. Let's dive into it. Dre, you were there. You spent the day in Ann Arbor. You were posted up tailgating at like 6:30 in the morning. Tell us about the experience. Tell us about the atmosphere. Tell us what the day was like.
Man, it really wasn't a tailgate. It was just a bunch of my Michigan family. We just gathered around and just talked a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, talk just before the game, you know what I'm saying, and the atmosphere was great. The parking lot, people did tailgate, but I wasn't a part of it, unfortunately, not this time. But I was out there. But it was a great atmosphere, man. A lot of happy faces, everybody in maize and blue. It just felt like football is back. You could feel the energy. I got a chance to go to Bo Schembechler and see some of the guys and talk to them after they got their rings, and man, it was just one of those things that you can just feel it, like it's something exciting that's going to happen this year, just from how they talk about the current players and the team. You know what I'm saying? It's just a buzz that, excuse me, it's just a buzz around the team that I ain't felt in a while. Now, I felt it last year, but it's a little bit different this year. Maybe it's because it's the unknown, or maybe it's because we riding a high off the national championship. I could truly not tell you, but I do know that we're happy to be national champions, and I'm happy that I got to experience it.
Yeah, for sure. It looked like a decent crowd was at the game. I made a tiny mistake, small mistake. I looked at the time of the game and it said noon. And then down the road from me, there's this museum, and they had a dinosaur exhibit. My parents were in town visiting, so we took my almost 2-year-old son to the dinosaur exhibit, and that was at 11. And so right when we got there and we're walking through, an almost 2-year-old's not going to spend a ton of time at a dinosaur exhibit. So the plan was go through there and get back home for the game. And then
I thought you were rushing out real quick after that. After I texted you.
You sent a text message and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's right now.
Yeah.
So thankfully it was like right after the game started, so I was able to pull up my phone and hit record to record the game. So I missed like the first like 3 or 4 plays on offense, but was tuned in time to see the Alex Orji touchdown run first. But I thought that overall I thought that Alex Orji and Davis Warren both looked pretty good. I thought that the quarterback play was pretty decent. I think it's important to remember that neither of them are probably going to be JJ, but also both of them will probably be a little bit better than maybe what Cade McNamara was. So when you make that comparison, right, I think we'll be in a good spot. They don't have to be JJ to get us to where we want to be. So I was impressed with both of them. Jaden Denegal struggled a little bit. Throwing the ball, he struggled a little bit seeing the field. He struggled a little bit kind of across the board. But that'll come. Things will get better. That'll come with time. But I think our identity is going to stay the same. our defensive line, our linebackers look nasty. Our secondary looks good. We're gonna be running the ball. We're a couple deep at running back. We're gonna be able to pound the rock again this year. I'm not concerned about our offensive line. They're gonna come together. They held their own pretty decent against the defensive line out there. So I was pretty excited to see our identity look like it looked like the identity that Jim Harbaugh created is sustained right now. That's the culture that's ingrained in Michigan football. But I'm telling you one person to watch out for though. Frederick Moore is going to, I think, become a stud. Yeah. Frederick Moore and a sleeper. Don't sleep on Kendrick Bell.
Yep.
He had a touchdown catch, and he had a big block on Frederick Moore's touchdown catch. So those two guys, I was excited. I was really excited to see Frederick Moore look good because we kind of were wondering who that next receiver would be. We knew Tyler Morris would probably be receiver 1. We knew Samaj Morgan would probably be the gadget receiver. But to see Frederick Moore take strides like he did and look like he can be a playmaker out there, and then to have another Bell in the mix, if Kendrick Bell is anything like Ronnie Bell, you know that he's gonna work his butt off. So it was good. What's that?
He's got height to him too.
Yeah,
and he's making good cuts from what I can see. Like I'm excited about those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What were your thoughts on the game, Jason?
So I was on time actually watching the game. But so my takeaways is I really wasn't worried about the defense. A part of the defense I was a little worried about the secondary. I know there's still depth there, but guys, Zeke Berry. Real excited about Zeke Berry. That guy is going to be a freaking ball hawk. And
you remember I was telling you about Zeke?
Yeah. I remember that too, but I was excited even when
he first got signed.
Yeah. I was excited about him when he came to Michigan. I think this guy is going to know where the ball is at all times, running and passing game. So the secondary actually showed a lot of spark. Like I'm not really too worried about. So Rod Moore, prayers to you, man. And then, losing Sab as well to Bama in the transfer portal. Like it's not just Zeke Berry, it's McBurles, who I was really impressed with as well too, which we've talked about him already in previous pods. DJ Waller, Hill is another guy to watch out for. So, dude, the secondary, I'm not really worried about the secondary at all watching the spring game. I think we are loaded on defense yet. Another guy to watch out for, I know Ernest Hausman. I'm going to be talking a lot about him because I was excited about him last year and the Maryland transfer, but TJ Guy on the edge. TJ Guy is another problem that teams are going to have stopping him. So real excited about the defense. That was my biggest takeaway of what I was impressed with. Receiver, I'm not too worried about that position group yet. There was a lot of Loveland looked really good with tight end too. Klein, I'm actually kind of excited about too. Him putting a big block on someone. He kind of looks like a Loveland fit a little bit too. Maybe that guy could probably play edge maybe someday as well. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm really excited about Klein. But as far as receivers go, I think there's talent there. Frederick. Kendrick getting both touchdowns from Davis Warren. They look pretty good. Tyler Morris making cuts as well too. So not just catching the ball. There was one from Orgy that was a little bit behind him, but he can make cuts and he can make people miss and he can extend the play after he catches the ball. We saw his first touchdown last year in the Rose Bowl against Bama. He was showing some of that spark in the spring game as well too. I think the thing that still kind of concerns me is the quarterback play. Yes, Orgy got off to a slow start. Yes, it's just a spring game. The guy's a big body. We know he can run the ball. My biggest worry about him yet, can he be, and I'm going to use the word consistently accurate, is he going to make mistakes just like JJ did? Yeah, we're all human. It's going to happen. It's every quarterback. I don't care if you're the best quarterback, second best, whatever. That's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous about Alex Orji is consistency with accuracy passing the ball. And we've seen him in the spring game do it. He threw a bunch of good passes, but there was a couple behind the receiver as well, too. So can he play a consistent game? Can he play 4 quarters? Or Michigan tradition, you only play 3 quarters or 3.5 quarters. Can he put a full game together and be consistent throwing the ball? Now, Derek, you talked about our offensive line. You talked about our running back room being very deep. I'm not worried about that. We're going to be able to pound the rock. But when we need to be able to pass the ball in some of those other games, I'm not going to say I'm crazy worried about it. I'm gonna put a lot of confidence in Alex Orji, but consistently, accurately throwing the ball, I'm somewhat have maybe some concerns about putting a full game together. Jaden Davis, even though he wasn't in the game a lot, honestly, like he's probably one of the most players I'm impressed with. It feels like he's not a freshman. He was calm, he was comfortable, he was in control. Like I'm really not worried about about Davis at all. I'm really not. So I'm excited to see what his future is gonna be underneath the winged helmet. And yeah, I mean a lot of good takeaways. Those are my thoughts on the spring game.
Yeah, Marlon Klein at tight end. I think he's gonna blossom into a pretty good football player. I mean, he's from Germany, so he's still really new to the sport of football in general, and so he looked good out there.
And he's Bredesen too. We can't take away from him too. The guy looks like a fullback.
Right.
Yeah,
he is a fullback. Ben Bredesen is a fullback.
Yeah, he is, but it's like he can still catch the ball too.
Luke Frazier.
Yeah,
he is gonna lead our offensive line for years to come. Luke.
Yep.
Frazier. Remember that name. Remember that name. But my take on the spring game, everything was everything. I mean, you really can't tell that much from us against us. You know what I mean? It's just really a live practice, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It brings out excitement, it brings out the fun, but you really can't tell nothing about what is what in our spring game, in the spring game atmosphere. You know what I mean? So it's not really even competitive in real life. They're not trying to hurt each other. They not, you know what I'm saying? So, but what I can say, I think our defense is going to be our strength again this year. Granted, we got a couple new people to replace some of the stars, but a lot of them people, they already played. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, McBurrows, Zeke is going to be big for
Derek
us.
Moore looked good too.
I can't think of his name right now, but the transfer from Maryland, he is going to be great for us. Kenneth Granite and Mason Graham, they're going to plug up the middle. On the ends, it's going to be going to Josiah Stewart. So I'm not really worried about the defense. The offense, I have a little bit concerns. It's Samaj Morgan. They're going to run the show on the outsides. In the new guy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody seems to be impressed with him, but I feel like he still has to do a little more. But I see the potential in Frederick Moore. He did real good in the spring game. I looked at his stats and I seen him. He looked like he can be one of the guys. This is, like I said again, this is spring ball. So really this. My biggest concern with the Michigan Wolverines, Team 145 is our quarterback play. I don't know. I feel like we in the same situation as Alabama. I feel like this is Jaden Milrose all over again. I don't like running quarterbacks. Even though, you know what I'm saying, I know they saying he can throw, but I gotta see it, man. I gotta see it when we in a tough situation and we need the pass and he can throw it, and then they shut him down on a run and he can't run. Like I need to see it. I have to see it from Alex. I have faith in him. Don't get me wrong. He's not a bum by all means, but that is my biggest take from everything, because Jaden Davis is not going to play yet. As much as we want him to play, he's not going to play. Davis Warren, I'm sorry, but I mean, maybe, and Jaden Denegal, I really don't think he's going to play neither. So I think it's out of Alex Orji, Tuttle, and Jaden, and with those three, I don't know. I just got to see it, man. We got some tough games coming up, especially Texas week 2. Even though it's at home. A couple pieces as well. I just at the quarterback play scares me, man. Everything else I'm cool with because we got great development, but I just got to see it. I got to see it.
Fully agree with everything that Dre just said. Like, that's my biggest concern. I think it can be done, but consistently.
But other than
guys,
that,
you know, teams are gonna stack the box against us. They know our running back room. They know our offensive line culture. They're gonna stack the box right away, and they're gonna try to make Orji throw the ball. It's gonna happen. It's gonna.
And even if they stack the box, we're still gonna. Michigan football is still gonna be Michigan football. All right, they're gonna.
Edwards look good.
Edwards look good. Yeah, the teams are gonna stack the box, and yeah, I think that is the. I think offense in general, right? So in addition to the question marks surrounding the quarterback position, which I do think that Davis Warren is going to be in the mix for QB1. I thought he looked like the better pure passer on the field on Saturday. Throwing the ball, he looked pretty sharp. Does he have that extra threat of using his legs and being a dual threat quarterback that Alex Orji brings? No. Is Alex Orji as good of a passer as Davis Warren looks like he is? This isn't the first time that Davis Warren has flashed in a spring game. This is multiple times now that he's flashed when he's had the opportunity to go out and play. So we'll see how that battle develops. And Jack Tuttle didn't play, so it'll be interesting to see how he fits in the mix too, being like a 25th year senior this year.
7th year, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see there, but I think that doubling up, maybe what do we expect out of the quarterback position is that we also don't really know what to expect out of the receiver position, right? We've got Cornelius Johnson, who was an anchor at receiver and never left the field. And I always knew his role, knew what he was supposed to do, and played his role for multiple years. We had Ronnie Bell, and we had Roman Wilson, and now we're coming in. We have Tyler Morris, and we saw some flashes out of him, but not for a full season. We've got Samaj Morgan, who showed that he could be a good gadget player and make big plays in the misdirection game and with the jet sweeps and in the screen game. But can he become more of a receiver threat that has a bigger route tree that he can run and threaten defenses with? Right. Frederick Moore, we're hoping that flash that we saw is a good indication that he's ready to step up and become one of the playmakers at receiver. So I think doubling up the concern at quarterback is the lack of a security blanket at receiver, of having like a super strong receiver core that is just going to go out there and ball regardless of who's throwing them the ball. But that's the turnover of college football. Anytime that you turn a quarterback over to the NFL, especially a quarterback like JJ, there's going to be a regression from a guy that's getting drafted at the top of the NFL draft, right? That's just natural. But in college football, it's always next man up, and you don't really know what you're going to get out of that next man, and that's why you want to build that depth. But I'm confident that the foundation of Michigan football is going to be protect the football, control the clock, and don't make big mistakes. And I think that regardless of if it's Alex Orji, Davis Warren, Jack Tuttle. Eventually, when Jaden Davis is eventually going to earn his way to becoming the starting quarterback, it's probably not going to happen as a true freshman, but he's going to become, he's our starting quarterback of the future, right? But as long as the commitment is play Michigan football, control the clock, don't force mistakes, let the defense dominate. I think, like I said, nothing against Cade McNamara, but if Cade McNamara could lead us to a Big Ten championship, I think any of the guys that we have right now would be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of unknowns right now with that position, so I guess we'll see what happens. But I guess some other takeaways. So Christian Dixon transferred. I mean, from receiver going to secondary, that just shows that he knew that there was a lot of talent happening, and we saw that in the spring game early on. Leon Franklin transferring. I mean, the running back room is stacked, boys. It is freaking stacked. Jim got his tattoo. It's pretty tight.
Jim got his tattoo, yeah.
Jim got his tattoo. I wanted a full sleeve, though. I don't know why I was expecting that, but we didn't get that. Maybe he'll build up to it. We'll see. Texas at the Big House at noon now on Fox. It's going to be a maze out, and then we will have our first stripe game against USC. So that'll be interesting as well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one last thing on the spring game, I guess to throw it's understandable to be concerned about quarterbacks, but I think we'll be all right. I think that the competition will run, and I think that the meritocracy, the competition is going to make everyone that's involved better, right? The Jim Harbaugh quote: "Don't get bitter, get better." That's what I think the quarterback competition is going to do. But do you guys have any concerns about our kicking game? Right? Like,
okay, I wanted to bring it up, but yeah, I do. I do.
We were spoiled with Moody, right? Moody was a star.
I mean, like I said, you gotta get the players a chance, man. It's spring game. You can't really go off nothing with the spring game, man. You gotta let them. We gotta.
My God.
See. We gotta see. You know what I'm saying? I got concerns about the kicking as well, but we gotta see.
I don't know.
I mean, everybody's not Moody, Jace. Everybody's not Moody, bro. Moody got some big size 45 shoes to wear. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's not Moody, bro. Jeez.
So Dre thinks we're not going to miss a field goal this year. So
I think we'll be all right, man. Like I said, we just gotta.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
I ain't say that.
It was dicey. It was dicey. It looked dicey, but there is.
You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of questions, but it's spring. It's the spring game, man. We can't. Like I don't know really what to say, but it's the spring game. Like I want to see
the physicality.
I want to see us in live action. Ask me after Fresno State.
Yeah, that'll be a tough week one, but I think the physicality is
what
Garrett was talking about before. Physicality is still there.
Yeah.
We get past Texas. I mean, we get past Texas, we might go undefeated.
Oh yeah. Like I said, the schedule's doable. We've talked about it in previous pods. It's possible. Like the schedule looks tough, but it's very doable. Very doable.
Yes.
Absolutely. And, as exciting as we are for this upcoming football season, it was last year's team that delivered the national championship to us. And quite a few guys off of that team, we're going to be hearing their name called over the next few days here for the NFL draft. So let's transition here and talk a little bit about the NFL draft. So we are going to be there. We're going to be around Detroit Thursday. Dre, what day are you going to get to Detroit? Are you going down on Thursday? Or are you going to be around Wednesday at all?
The same day y'all going, buddy. I'm only going because of y'all. Cause really, I wasn't gonna go. But I know y'all coming, and I wouldn't have y'all come to my state, and I wouldn't come see y'all. Like y'all, my brothers, man. So I plan on spending that whole Thursday with you guys. I don't know if I'm coming back Friday or not. I don't know. I might be going to the baseball game, to be honest. So I don't know about Friday because Will Johnson's supposed to be going off that first pitch.
Yeah, we're going to the
So
Tigers
I
game
don't know
Friday.
if I'm going. Oh, y'all are going to the Tigers game Friday?
Yep.
I think I am too. I think I'm gonna be going with my homeboy John. You know what I'm saying? So
Sweet.
I guess I'll see y'all Friday as well. But Saturday I wasn't gonna come down there. But if y'all don't go to the draft, we can go do something. I feel.
Yeah,
I think we should go get tatted if y'all want to go get tatted.
We'll
see the Ivories,
see.
Right? Yeah, I know y'all wait on it. Yeah,
but no.
Yeah.
So we'll be around. So if anyone else is around Thursday through Saturday, we'll be getting into town Wednesday. I don't necessarily know what our plans are going to be Wednesday after we get to town, but Thursday through Saturday we'll be around. So if anyone wants to meet up with us and grab a beer or just say hi, shoot us messages on Facebook. Let us know. I don't know what it's going to be like near all of the draft activities. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot.
It'll
sure
be tough.
I'll be posting a lot of pictures so everybody will know what's up with us.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to go to an NFL draft.
And you couldn't
Me
wait for the
too.
one.
Hey, me too.
Green
That
Bay
and the
next year.
NBA draft.
Right.
Seriously. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about it being here. I just, like I said, I wasn't going if y'all wasn't gonna come. I would just, go watch it on TV.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean,
my
the
brother's
icing on the
coming.
cake
I
would have been
gotta
the Red
definitely
Wings. Red Wings making the playoffs would have been pretty awesome too. We would have caught a playoff game, but
yeah. So we'll be around. We'll be around, everyone. But as we get ready for the draft, we're going to hear a lot of Michigan names called, and this draft is kind of special in the sense that it's kind of like Michigan's hometown draft, right? With it being in Detroit, being so close to Ann Arbor, and having so many players that are going to get drafted. I don't know if any of the players are going to be around. That I feel like if I was one of the players, I probably would prefer not to be at anywhere near there. I would probably prefer to be somewhere more private and secluded. But still, it'll be a fun atmosphere because there's going to be a lot of Michigan fans there, hearing a lot of Michigan names taken. And so we put our heads into where we thought they might go. So as we preview what to expect Thursday through Saturday, we'll give you our thoughts on a little bit of a mock draft where we expect all of our draft eligible players to be taken. So let's get into it. Let's get into mocking where we think your Michigan Wolverines are going to be drafted this year. And let's start with round 1. All right. So let's all we'll start with one player in round 1. All right. So I'll get us started off. So I think that Minnesota trades up to the number 4 spot overall and takes JJ McCarthy. I think that maybe I know there's probably a lot of you out there that are Lions fans that probably don't want JJ McCarthy to go to the NFC North. But I think that he fits what they're looking for in a quarterback very well. I think he's a younger, a little more athletic, maybe version of Kirk Cousins, the way that he can play the quarterback position. and I'm a little biased in making this pick because I think out of all of the quarterback needy teams, Minnesota's the best situation for a young quarterback to go to and find success. They've got a pretty good team built around, throwing to Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson and with Aaron Jones in the backfield. That's a pretty good situation for a young quarterback to step into.
Yep.
So that's my pick for the top of the first round. JJ McCarthy to Minnesota. So before we get into anybody else in the rest of the first round, Jason, same.
So I think if Denver had the leeway to move up, which they don't after Russell Wilson, they would have moved up and grabbed him. He would have been a Bronco for sure. But that's just not possible in the world that we live in today, maybe in another universe. Would be surprised if maybe the Patriots would grab him, the Commanders. I just don't see it happening. The Vikings. As a Packer fan, I don't want him to go to the Vikings, but like Derek was saying, that is the best. That's a young quarterback's dream right there. They are loaded on offense with talent. So I have them trading up, replacing the Cards, and they're going to take JJ McCarthy at the 4th spot. Yep.
Yeah. Dre, what about you? JJ, where do you think he's going to land?
I got Minnesota doing the same thing, but I don't know if it's going to be the 4th or the 5th spot. I couldn't decide, but he's going to go in the top 5 to Minnesota. That's my prediction as well.
Yeah, and there's buzz that he could go number 2 to Washington. I wouldn't be surprised if New England took him number 3.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't be surprised neither, but I just don't see it.
It's hard to say.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But you never know. That's why it's the NFL draft. That's the they call that the biggest drama on TV. So we're gonna see what unfolds Thursday. So
yeah.
But
so now
I do got a feeling he's going top 5. And before we move on, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dre.
No, I was just gonna say I can see Denver maybe moving up, doing the same thing, but
they can't.
Like I said,
they don't have enough leeway after Russell Wilson. They can't. But if they did, I guarantee Denver would have moved up.
Yeah,
guarantee it.
Yeah,
but you never know what happens, bro.
Right.
Like I said, you never know.
Plus, you don't want JJ to go to Denver anyway because their new uniforms, they suck. They look like hot trash. I'm just being honest.
I haven't even looked at them.
They don't look good.
But let's look at the rest of the first round then. So looking at the rest of the first round, I have Roman Wilson sneaking into the end of the first round. Pick number 32 going to Kansas City. Kansas City has a need for a receiver. I think with Rashee Rice facing a decent suspension from the NFL, I think Roman Wilson fits the type of receiver that Kansas City is looking for. I think that he would fit in that offense well right away, and I think that he would have a pretty good career with Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to him. So next guy I have going end of the first round is Roman Wilson sneaking into the first round and going to Kansas City.
So I'm going to have to hit a buzzer or something because I got some other players that I'm going to take in the first round before Roman Wilson. So, Derek, I do agree with you. I think Roman Wilson, if he slides, I could see Pittsburgh taking him too, but in the second round, but he's going to go in the first. This is going to be a little crazy, but I got 2 players going before Roman Wilson, and it's just because of needs. It has nothing to do with Roman Wilson. Like I know he's like second on that team to probably get taken in the real world, but in my world, I like Chris Jenkins to Seattle before that with Mike McDonald. I like that pick, round 1, 16th pick, and there's another player. I got 4 players in for Michigan going in the first round. Yep, you know it. So I got people are probably going to think I'm freaking nuts, but so Chris Jenkins
4
to
players in the first
Seattle.
round for Michigan.
Yep, hell yeah, dude. I got Mikey Sanderstrom going to the Lions round 1, 29th pick. Like, I think the Lions get him before the Ravens do in the first or round 2.
Ooh,
I
Mikey
think
to
the Lions,
huh?
I think the Lions know that the Ravens have an interest in him, and I think the Lions, knowing what Aiden Hutchinson, I know they're two different people. I get it, but it's the program, it's the culture. Look what Aiden Hutchinson has done. I think they'd be stupid not to take a Michigan player in the first round. And it could be an offensive lineman because that's a need there as well too. But like I think Mikey Sanderstrom goes to the Lions 29th pick. And then I have Roman Wilson going to the Chiefs first round 32nd pick. But man, like I almost got even more crazier because Jim's crazy. Love the guy. But I almost wanted to take Roman Wilson for the Chargers round 1, 5th pick. But I know Jim, and he'd be closer to home, Hawaii too. But like the reason why I didn't do that is because we know Jim. We know how he likes to build teams. He starts in the trenches. He's going to go for an offensive lineman. It's my opinion. But they do need a wide receiver too. They do need a wide receiver. Sure. So I have 4 players going in the first round for Michigan. Again, real quick, JJ to the Vikings, Chris Jenkins to Seattle, Mikey Sanderstrom to the Lions, and Roman Wilson to the Chiefs.
I can legitimately see Chris Jenkins and Mikey Sanderstrom still going in the first round as well.
Yeah.
Dre,
I have right here is gonna be right. So they are.
All right.
Go ahead,
I have 3 players. I have 3 players as well in the first round. As we just talked about, we all have JJ going in the top 5. As well, I do have Chris going to Seattle.
We didn't even talk about that.
I think the Lions not gonna pass up on them. I like you said. I think they don't watch the Michigan culture for a very long time, especially these last couple of years, and they know what we got. And the man is a beast, so it's gonna improve the secondary.
It's kind of come out a little bit.
Yeah, Dre's run into some technical difficulties.
We're gonna be back now. So Dre, you had, if you can hear us, you had Chris Jenkins to Seattle and Mikey to Detroit. Is that what you said? Okay, cool. That's crazy. That's why you were smiling, dude. We didn't even talk about that.
All right, let's roll into round number 2.
No, we did.
All right, Dre. All right, Dre's crazy. Technical difficulty. Dre's back. All right. Yeah. All right, let's roll into round number 2. So I'll go first now. So, the one that I don't like because I just don't like Dallas, but I'll have to support this. Second round, pick number 56 overall. I have Junior Colson going to Dallas. Later in the second round, I have 2 more guys going late second round. I truly don't know if they're going to last this long. One of these teams could potentially trade up, but I have Mikey Sanderstrom still going to Baltimore, pick number 62 in the second round instead of the first round. And I've got a complete homer pick here. And that is because I'm a 49ers fan and a diehard 49ers fan. So Chris Jenkins sliding and ending up landing on the Niners at the end of the second round, pick number 63. That's what I've got for my second round picks is Junior Colson to Dallas, Mikey Sanderstrom still to Baltimore, and Chris Jenkins as a homer pick going to the Niners. Okay, so what do you got round 2?
So you're wrong, Derek, because what I have on my sheet, I like Junior Colson to the Chargers.
I can see that.
I like him going to the Chargers round 2, 37. Reunion with Jim, Jesse Minter. I think that could happen for sure, but I could definitely see them going in a different direction depending on their first pick. They might need another offensive line. I don't know what they're going to do yet, but or how Jim's going to rebuild this team. But for the Cowboys, you mentioned Junior Colson going to the Cowboys. I have someone else going to the Cowboys. I don't like this pick either. I hope it doesn't happen, but I have Blake Corum going to the Cowboys, round 2, 56. I don't want that to happen out of every single thing that I mocked here. I do not want that to happen at all, but I have Junior Colson going to the Chargers round 2, 37. Blake Corum going to the Cowboys around 256. And this one, I can see Zach Zenter being a Niner. I can also see him being a Buccaneer, but I got to go with my gut instinct of who I thought first, and I think Zach Zenter is going to be picked up by the Packers round 2, pick 58. Because Packers, I mean, I know there's a lot of need for linemen this year, but they need an O lineman. They need an interior offensive lineman as well, too. I just don't think they're going to wait. I think the Packers are going to take Zach Zenter round 2. And he's actually going to move up compared to where he's actually projected at. Those are the 3 players I have in round 2. So Colson to the Chargers, Corum to the Cowboys, Zenter to the Packers.
All right. Dre, what are your predictions round 2?
Don't creep me out, Dre. Great minds think alike. We've been pretty similar so far.
I got Mr. Corum. I got Mr. Corum going with Jimmy. To the Chargers, and I got Zach, going to where did I say he was going? Where did I just say? Hold on, let me look at my notes. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I got Zach. I got Zach going to Buffalo.
Okay.
And I got Junior Colson going to Dallas.
Yeah, all the reports say that Dallas is pretty
I'm
high
sorry
on
about the
Junior
technical
Colson.
difficulties, everyone. It's just, I don't know, bad connection tonight.
That's what happens with the live pods is technical difficulties come up and we work through them. All right, so we're not too far off, right? With the guys that we think are going where. Let's move into round 3 here. So moving into round 3, this is where I have Blake Corum going to the Chargers. 3rd round, pick number 69. So I think if he's sitting there in the 3rd round, I just feel like Blake Corum's the type of guy that Jim Harbaugh would let his wife marry Blake Corum probably. That's how good of a guy Blake Corum is. So I think that if he's there,
my wife too.
Right?
I've only met him a couple of times, so.
So I think 3rd round, pick 69, Chargers, Blake Corum. Another homer pick coming up here. 3rd round, pick 94, Zach Zenter going to the Niners. I
can see it.
I just he fits that scheme so well. Zach Zenter is the type of guy that would be able to step in and by the end of his rookie year be a starter at guard in that offense and make a long career. He's going to have a long NFL career anyways, but man, the 49er fan in me wants so bad for Zach Zenter to be on that offensive line. So that's what I got for round 3 is Blake Corum going to the Chargers and Zenter going to the Niners.
I think you'd have all 18 of these players going to the Niners.
You
would redo your mock draft, I guarantee it.
I thought about it.
I still can't get just kind of backtracking a little bit. Stanistrel, I think the Lions are going to try to get him before the Ravens do. I can so see that happening. So we'll see.
I can see
it. 3rd round, I just have one player actually. So I think instead of Zach, I think the Niners are going to get Trevor Keegan instead.
I would take it.
I think the Packers, like what the Lions might be doing to the Ravens with Sanistrel, I think the Packers are going to jump the gun, which is a good thing. I think they're going to take Zach Center before the Niners can, if that's where your strategy's at. And I think the Niners are not going to settle, but I think they're still going to get a good offensive lineman and Keegan. So I think that's my only player in round 3. Trey, what do you got for round 3? I think he might have. Oh, maybe he's good.
Dre, can you hear us? Sounds like more technical difficulties. So,
Yeah.
So let's go to round 4. Let's touch on round 4 then. So I only have one guy going round 4, and that is Trevor Keegan. So I have him going round 4, pick 129 to Minnesota. So Minnesota jumps up and takes JJ, and then goes and gets one of the guys that protected him for the last couple of years, and stocks their offensive line. Minnesota is an offense that their run game has a lot of concepts similar to what Michigan ran in college, with the way that the guards might pull and dual blocks and stuff like that. So I think it's a good fit to a team that is looking to bolster the future of their offensive line. And I think Michigan's offensive linemen are kind of undervalued coming into this. I think there's a lot of players that are undervalued and are going to overperform coming into the draft because they just didn't get as much film or as many reps as some of the other guys out there. And I think Michigan's offensive line is an example of that their whole offensive line was so good that it kind of undervalues the ability of each of them. So round 4, Trevor Keegan, Minnesota.
Yeah, so the only player, and just to really touch base on the offensive line, and we're going to talk more a little bit about him here coming up, but Barnhart, I mean, I have him going late, but honestly, like the way he transitioned into his position after Zach Center got hurt, like we could see him actually move up for development purposes. So I could see him move up to like where I actually have. I just wanted to say that, but I only have one player as well in round 4. It is, I mean, I think he should go earlier. Where he's projected at, I think, is BS. It's Cornelius Johnson. I think he's going to the Bengals. So they just made a move from receiver. I could see Cornelius Johnson getting drafted by the Bengals round 4 at the 115th pick.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Cornelius Johnson did himself a huge favor with a good combine.
Yeah.
So
I think you should go higher. I think you should go higher than that.
Yeah, potentially, but I think that's a good spot for him. Dre, welcome back.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Hello. So
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. So just to recap, we just got done with round 3 and round 4. So round 3, I have Keegan instead of Zenter going to the Niners, and for round 4, I have Cornelius Johnson to the Bengals.
Yep.
Derek,
for me, for round 3, I had I had
in round
Corum. Yeah, so round 3, I had Corum going to the Chargers, Zinter going to the Niners. In round 4, I had Trevor Keegan going to Minnesota.
Who do you got for round 3 and round 4, Dre?
Round 4, I got. Did I do round 3? I can't remember if I cut off.
No, you got to do you cut off at round 3. You got to do round 3.
Anyway, I got Trevor Keegan round 3 going to the Jaguars. And I got CJ in round 3 going to the New York Giants.
Okay.
All right,
round 4, I got AJ Barner. Going to the Chiefs. And I got Josh Wallace and I got Josh Wallace coming to Pittsburgh.
Josh Wallace all the way in round 4. Hey.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Maybe it's a little biased, but
You know,
This
honestly,
whole
I hope
thing
I hope they go early as hell. Like I don't want them like to wait to see if they go around. So it's nothing to do with breaking the record of 18 players getting drafted. I want all these guys to go as early as possible because they should.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's hit on round 5. So for me, round 5, that's where I have Cornelius Johnson going. Round 5, pick 147 to Denver. Then I got Drake Nugent going 5th round, pick 172 to Philadelphia. So Jason Kelce just left. They're going to be looking for their new center of the future.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to start as a rookie, but I think that could potentially be a match for Drake Nugent that I would be pretty excited to see. And then I've got, this is kind of a homer pick, but not completely. So then I have AJ Barner going to the Niners in the 5th round. Now I say that that's a homer pick because it's my team, but also the 49ers are going to draft a tight end, and the tight ends that they look to bring in that are complementary to George Kittle are tight ends that are elite run blockers. And AJ Barner is an elite run blocker and absolutely the type of guy that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan fall in love with. So those are the guys that I have going in the 5th round. And then I'm going to give you a surprise. I'm going to claim Eric All as a Michigan man. And I'm going to say Eric All also goes in the 5th round, pick 150 to the Saints. So he's going to get drafted, and he's not going to get drafted because of anything he did at Iowa. He's going to get drafted because of how he was developed at Michigan and what he did at Michigan. So I know it's not going to count towards our numbers, but I'm still going to claim him as a former Michigan Wolverine. But that's what I've got for round 5.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was pretty rough on social media with him and his dad after, but like honestly, like true Michigan men after. They had nothing but good things to say during this whole BS basically, but his dad and Twitter and him after, I mean, they were all good. I mean, they really defended us. So yeah, I could see that, him going to the Saints. Yeah, I got 3. I got 3 also in the 5th round. So I got Barner to the Pats. I would take more Michigan players because I know we're going to get down to Jalen Harrell in a little bit, but I was going to take more for the Pats. But now that Belichick's gone, it just feels a little bit different in strategy.
Right.
But honestly, so I think Barner to the Pats 5th round, 137. McGregor to the Vikings. I think he goes a little early. I think McGregor goes to Minnesota 5th round, 167. And I also have Drake Nugent to the Eagles round 5, but I have him going just one above at 171 because I got back-to-back picks and I had to do something different. So. But you can definitely see him in a Philly uniform. Yeah. Drake Nugent. You can definitely see that. And I think that would be a good pickup for them.
Yeah, I think so too. Dre, what do you got round 5?
I got Mr. Harrell. I got Mr. Harrell going to the Bengals. And I got Drake Nugent going to the Colts.
Well, yeah, the Colts wouldn't be bad either.
And I got McGregor going to the Saints. I'm sorry if I'm chopping out, but I got McGregor going to the Saints.
All right. Let's move on to round 6. So 6th round then. I've got Ladarius Henderson going to Detroit in round 6, pick 205. Braden McGregor, 6th round is where I have him going, pick 178 to Pittsburgh. Mike Barrett I have going in the 6th round, pick 192 to Seattle. I think that's a Mike McDonald pick. Seeing that Mike Barrett still hanging around, hasn't been drafted yet, pulling the trigger and bringing a Michigan guy into his defense. Then 6th round, Jalen Harrell, pick 193 to New England. And then I have Carson Barnhart going in the 6th round, pick 217 to the Rams. There seems to be some mutual buzz of something where there seems to be like there's a pretty good fit and some excitement for him with the Rams. So those are the guys that I have going in the 6th round. So a pretty good round for Michigan in round number 6. And I think a lot of value for the teams that are drafting those guys. So I think a lot of them are going to be undervalued and or are going to over deliver.
So, I mean, I could see the next 6 guys here that we have left like go a little bit earlier than what I actually have here. But I see right now Harold to the Falcons. So ATL, round 6, 187. Henderson, I also have him going to the Lions, Derek. So round 6, 205, same thing. Barrett, I have him going to the Ravens. So I think he'd be a pretty good fit there. I mean, honestly, culture-wise, he'd be a pretty good fit anywhere. I can also see him Barrett going to the Chargers as well, too. But I don't disagree with the Seattle pick with Mike McDonald. But I can also see maybe Jesse Minter. The only reason I didn't do it is because I already had Junior Colson pick for the Chargers. And then lastly, Barnhart, I could see with the Rams, too, because I've read some things about him. But I have him going to the Buccaneers round 6 at 220. Like I said, I know Drake kind of dropped off a little bit, but I could see Barnhart, the way he was able to transition, make those moves, and still dominate that offensive line and help that offensive line reach a national championship and win a natty after Zach Zenter got hurt. I can see Barnhart going a little bit early. I think we just lost Dre again, but I can see Barnhart going early. I can see him going a lot earlier.
So we didn't forget about Dre. We just lost Dre. Dropped off. So I agree, right? For some of these guys that are going to go later as offensive linemen, one of the keys for them is versatility. And Carson Barnhart has played both tackle position, has played guard during his time at Michigan. So just having that ability to go play multiple positions along the offensive line is key. So I would be surprised if he goes earlier.
Yeah, me too. Like, there's a lot of need for interior offensive linemen and offensive linemen. Like, it's a hefty need for it this season. So I could definitely see him going a lot earlier. I hope he does.
For sure. And then moving into round 7 here. Now, I think this first pick, Trente Jones, I have him going 7th round, pick 250 to Baltimore. I think that is Trente Jones. I think is going to be a high value pick for whoever takes him. He is not going to go as high as he could. He could have started for a ton of programs last year, and he was the 6th man on Michigan's offensive line, and he owned that role. But when Zinter went down and Barnhart slid into guard and he went in as our starting right tackle, honestly, he played great. He played tremendous. I think that he has the ability to develop into a good NFL tackle. So I have him going to Baltimore. And then the one that I think, in my opinion, probably has the highest chance of going undrafted. I have Josh Wallace. I have him going in the 7th round, pick 255 to Green Bay. I know Green Bay is always looking to solidify their secondary. His testing numbers didn't pop off the sheets, and I think that when you're looking at guys that can run with NFL receivers, you're not going to have the protection of the safety help that he had at Michigan over the top, and you're not going to have the protection of playing in zones as much as he was able to play in zones. But the game tape, he still balled out. So even though his testing numbers might hurt him a little bit, I think if someone puts on the game tape, he's going to earn himself a shot. So I got him going at the end of the 7th round to Green Bay.
Yeah, so I agree with you on that one. So Trente Jones, I could actually see him with the Eagles. I think that might be a pretty good fit. And Barnhart, too, just to kind of go back, I could see him with the Lions, but honestly, I think they'd be pretty good fits on any team that would pick him up. But I I have Trente Jones actually going to the Chargers. If he's available, we know Jim. And to be honest, we don't know what Jim's going to do in this draft. He could draft all Michigan players like really early on. We just don't know what's going to happen. But
Right.
we know that the Chargers need receiver help, but more importantly, they need help in the trenches. So, and Sandstrom, I could see him going to the Chargers somehow too, if he drops in the second round somehow. So we just don't know what's going to happen with that program. But Trente Jones, I have going to the Chargers round 7, 225, and then Josh Wallace, I still have him getting drafted. I think he could go to the Titans. I think that might be a good fit there as well too. Round 7, 252. We'll see. We could be all wrong right here except the JJ pick. But
I mean, we could all be wrong on. We could all be wrong on every single one.
Oh, easily. We just spent like 40 minutes here just talking about this. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. We just want all 18 guys to get drafted, and we want them to get drafted as early as possible because not only as Michigan fans, there's true talent right here, and they can really make or break your program. I mean, this type of culture that we built at Michigan, it can be a rise up from where certain NFL teams are at right now, and what culture they can actually, what knowledge and culture they can actually bring to some of these programs in the NFL. So we'll see. Hopefully earlier the better. So excited.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen over. So it'll be interesting. Like this is a big draft class. Like usually we put in a handful of guys into the draft every year. But this is one of those draft classes where, you know, it's gonna stink to see guys go to teams like Dallas. Like when you really just have an NFL team that you don't like, it sucks watching a Michigan guy get drafted there. But it's one of those drafts.
I don't want Blake Corum to go to Dallas. I hope I'm so wrong about that.
Same. Please. And it's one of those
and Junior.
One of those drafts that makes you. It's gonna make people that are diehard Michigan fans and want to watch Michigan players be successful in the NFL. It's going to make you become a football fan of the NFL. It's going to take away some of the teams that you love to hate. It's going to take it away when you have this many guys going into the league. But it'll be exciting. So reminder, hit us up if you're going to be around Detroit the next few days here, Thursday through Saturday. Hit us up, and if we can find a way to make it work and connect and meet up somewhere, we'd love to meet and say hi and see as many people as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing enough meet and greets too, so meeting up with a lot of different people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we lost Dre at the end of this, but for everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your continued support. We're going to have a historic draft class coming here. So let's enjoy the draft. Let's gear up for another awesome football season. Let's enjoy the off season a little bit and have some fun and go blue.
Blue.